Hello and welcome back to week 4 of my Frugal Living Challenge, where every week I either learn something new or I use something I already know and apply it to save money. And my hopes are that you will learn with me and you also can apply some of these things to help you save some money. Now, this week is all about saving money by doing things yourself, DIY. And that means home repairs, auto repairs, just anything that you can do to where you don't need a professional coming in and charging you a lot of money. You also have a lot of scammers out there. I've heard horror stories about people getting ripped off. And I had that brings me to the point, a couple of years ago, I had some guys, they stained my house and my front porch. And they did a good job on the house, but when they finished up on the front porch, I was concerned. I knew that if it was too cold, that stain would not adhere to the wood. And sure enough, 2 years later, the stain was peeling off the steps and the high traffic areas all around the edges. It looked horrible. And here I am, I'm trying to sell my property and I can't have it look like that. So I tried to get a hold of these people, and of course you can't find them. They don't return your calls. I said, screw it. I had a couple gallons of stain in my garage left from the project. So I said, heck, I'm going to do it myself. And I'm glad I did. Through all the years of, painting and doing little staining jobs myself, I had all the brushes. I had everything I needed to do it. So I was lucky enough, I've got a little electric power washer. If you want to kind of do your own deck, you could get away with maybe a garden hose and a sprayer. You really want to get any dirt off of it. But the benefit of using a power washer is it will blow off the loose stain. And if you don't have a power washer, you're going to need to, use like a hard bristle brush, to kind of get that old stain off. You want to get that. So anyways, I power washed, let it set a couple days, let it dry out. Did it this week. It was warm enough to do, but I think the weather, Indiana has been so hot this summer. It's been, in the 90s, and humidity has been up. I've seen it up to 98%. It's really been bad. So this week we got a cool down, and it's funny when that happens. You feel you have all this extra energy. It's like the oppression has been lifted from your back. So I got out here and I did that. And luckily, with the stains, with the stain brushes I have, they're bigger ones, you can unscrew those, and you have a rod you can screw into them. So to apply the stain, it was just like sweeping the floor. I was just put that on all the spots. I didn't do my entire porch because a lot of it, the stain adhered pretty good. Did that, and when I was done, I was a little worried because the new stain, even though it was the same exact stain that was put on before, it looked a little darker. It was, of course, cleaner. But now, after this week of walking on it, it's actually blending together, and it looks really nice. So I'm really, really happy about that. And that is, if I would have, even if they would have come back, they might have charged me something. If I had someone else come back, they would have charged me a lot of money to do that. Saved a bunch. And this brings me to the thing that I learned this week and that I applied is my wife, Lisa, her car, she's got a Jeep Renegade, and it has a key fob. I hate key fobs. I don't know about you. I'm old school. I like a key to go in the ignition and start the car. My Toyota has that. I love that. The problem with key fobs is if you accidentally break it or the battery goes dead, the car's a no-go. It's just not going to work. If we would have taken it, and luckily, I guess with key fobs, the key fob will tell you if the battery is low. I guess that is one saving grace of them. But hers was kind of blinking low, and if we would have taken it to a dealership, maybe they would have done it for free, but probably if they can get a little money from you, they're going to. So they would have charged us. And that brings me to YouTube. And most people think YouTube is more entertainment, watching people do this and that and their journeys and travels like that. But some people don't know that there are absolutely millions of videos on DIY projects. And specifically, for what you're doing. I just typed in on YouTube the year of my wife's Jeep and the make and what I wanted to do. I wanted to change the battery in the key fob, and bam, a bunch, 25 videos came up, probably even more. But I think it was a YouTube short. So in under 60 seconds, it showed me how to replace that battery. It wasn't very hard, but I'm glad I watched the battery. You take a little screwdriver and you pry. There's like a little indentation. You pry that up. Maybe you've already done this, but pry it up. But there's a little computer circuit board on there. And if I hadn't watched the video, I would have freaked out because they can come loose and the board can actually fall out. So I knew that ahead of time. So when I took this off, it popped off, and I was careful. I left it in the one side of it, and it even the video told me what battery to use. And look, I even had one of the batteries, just one of those large watch type batteries, and so it cost me absolutely nothing. It took me about 3 minutes, and it was great. It saved us money. So even though you don't think you can do anything at all, you can find it on YouTube. This be specific. It'll go down if you want to change the oil on your car. You put in the make, model, and there'll be videos on just changing the oil in your car. I used to change the oil on my cars, but at this point in my life, with my health conditions, getting on the ground and getting back up, working on the ground is not in the books for me anymore. So I unfortunately have to pay for that to be done. But you can save a lot of money changing your own oil. And depending on, and this is another thing, is watch the video beforehand, and you might find out that you need to take your vehicle to an actual mechanic to change your oil. I have encountered vehicles, I've never owned one, but there are vehicles where you actually have to unbolt the engine and tilt it up off of the frame to get to the oil filter. And I don't understand why engineers, they must be evil sometimes. Why would you do that? Why? It's very expensive. Why would you put the oil filter where you have to tilt the engine up to get to it? I don't understand that. I had a 1968 GTO, and that was a toy car years ago. And I've sold it since then. But man, those old vehicles, you get down there and there's the oil filter. But everything was right there. Now they've got all sorts of crap tucked everywhere, so they can turn the engine sideways for these front wheel drive cars. But I don't want to ramble too much about that. The point is that you will save a lot of money. And like I said before, even if you feel like you can't do it, start small. Start on a small project. Ladies, if you're a single lady flying solo, go to Lowe's or a Home Depot and buy a cheap just a little plastic toolbox. And if there's something that needs to be done, watch a video a couple times. And if you need to buy a tool, buy the tool for that job, because you'll probably have to do it again. And, if you can buy quality tools, buy those, but you don't have to. If you're not going to use them all the time, go to Harbor Freight. They're all over the place. The tools are pretty decent there, and they're Chinese tools, but they do the job, and it'll save you a lot of money that way. But just get the tool for the job that you need and accumulate those tools. Keep them organized, keep them nice. And years ago, I like to. I've always liked to putter around the house. Um, I bought a whole set of Makita. Now you can get them cheaper at like Harbor Freight and off brands. Uh, Cordless battery tools. I got a kit. Had a cordless drill, and you'll definitely want a cordless drill. And it came with a cordless circular saw and a sawzall. Sawzalls or reciprocating saws. Believe it or not, you never think you would use it, but I use mine all the time. You don't have to use them to cut a wall down. You can get a pruning blade, and they're great for cutting branches. They're good for cutting off nails. You can get a metal blade for them. There's just a million uses for them. But it came with that, and I think it just came with a flashlight and 2 batteries. So I bought an extra battery because I hate running out of batteries with it, and it comes with a charger and everything. You can get those a lot cheaper around Christmas. They have, you can get them a few $100s off. Normally $400 or $500 for a whole set like that, but around Christmas you get them for $300. If you get an off-brand, go to Harbor Freight. You'll get them even cheaper than that. But they will be very useful for what you want to do. And then after you think you want to try some things, pick a project. I've done things where maybe, your light switches in your house, they wear out. And they're only a couple dollars to buy. Go to Home Depot and buy a switch. You're under $5. Usually around $2 or $3. They're pretty inexpensive. But if you have an electrician come, that little replacement is going to cost you a few $100s easily. It's not hard and it's not dangerous. Just watch the videos. I'm not a licensed electrician, so I'm not going to tell you how to do it. But it all starts with going to your breaker box and turning the power off to that area. So simple. Watch the video, pull it out, replace the wire. It just screws right in. It's very easy. It'll save you tons. Now, plumbing. Plumbing is my Achilles heel. I have tried plumbing, and after 15 runs to the hardware store with all the little fittings and everything, I've spent all day doing it, and then you go to turn the water on and you have a drip, and it's maddening. I don't even like to think about it. Now I've changed my own like faucets, things like that. That's not too bad. But you can get into, some other things. Some things are just better off calling the professional and paying the money. And that also brings me to maintenance. When you start learning to do some of these things yourself, get out your owner's manuals. Your washer and dryer, your dishwasher. There are things to maintain, and it's not that hard. And the more maintenance you do, the less likely you're going to have to call that professional in and spend a bunch of money. So, I'm all about DIY, and even with my, physical limitations, I try to do as much as I can, and it will save you money. So please check out my other Frugal Living videos or challenges. And I can guarantee you that if you watch them, you will learn things, and I know you will save money because I have. I really enjoy doing this, and I want to keep making these videos. When I learn something, I'm not an expert on this, but when I learn something, I will apply it, and I will tell you honestly if it worked out for me, if it didn't, and I know it'll save money. So I appreciate you watching the video. Please subscribe to this channel, and you will see other videos every Friday I post the Frugal Living Challenge videos, and I think I'm going to start doing, I was doing it Tuesdays. I'm going to do every Monday. I'm going to upload just a video, and it's going to cover just life hacks, health, just surviving and thriving as you get older. Until next time, thank you.